Without workers doing their job, there is no company and there is no business. Without workers doing their job, everyone loses theirs. You can have a company without a CEO, but you cannot have a company or a business that does not have workers. Work is prior to capital. This is another example of someone confusing capitalism with labor itself. Remember, labor is the eternal nature-imposed necessity for sustaining life. There are no commodities without labor. There is no form of society without labor. Labor is independent of all forms of society. Labor sustains life. Nature provides resources. People must use labor to turn those resources into commodities which can be used. There can be no commodities without labor. This person is confusing capitalism with labor itself. Remember, capitalism is just a system of private ownership and exploitation of labor. Capitalism does not change the necessity for labor to produce commodities. Capitalism just dictates who owns that labor and who owns those commodities. Capitalism requires that labor be owned by owners and not workers. Everything rides on the decisions made by workers. If people did not work, there would be no business. Labor is the intermediary between people and nature. If this statement were true, then worker councils wouldn't be possible. Worker co-ops wouldn't be possible. Worker-run businesses would not be possible. This is capitalist propaganda, ruling class propaganda. This is part of the common sense of today's society, that businesses could never exist without a CEO. It's kind of like saying a government is not possible without a dictator. Of course we know that's not true. That's why we believe in the principle of democracy. And the principle of democracy is a virtue in and of itself. It doesn't need to be defended. Once again, we believe in democracy in the abstract, but when it comes to real life situations, we suck up the ruling class propaganda. There must be owners, there must be a handful of people at the top who make all the decisions and benefit from all of the wealth and value created by workers. Otherwise, a business could never be run. We cannot give workers more agency, more control, more of the share in the value of the work that they create. That can't happen because CEOs are just supposed to make 400 times the worth of the average worker. The economic disparity is just. This guy is cucking for the ruling class, cucking for the 1% of which he's not a part of. This TikToker is behaving like a class traitor. This person is betraying their own class interests to serve the oppressive class of which they are not a part of. This person saying, yes, I'm being exploited and it is right and just and I will uphold it. Let's change this narrative. Let's change this logic. Without the public, without public infrastructure, without public money, CEOs are not possible, okay? Private enterprise is not possible. All the innovations that have happened under capitalism have happened in the public sector. State-funded, government-funded, that's how it's been. It is a core theme of capitalism to privatize the profits and socialize the losses. Whenever there is something good or innovative that happens, capitalism is the reason. Whenever there's something bad that happens under capitalism, socialism is the reason. Whenever there's a profit to be made, it is privatized. When things need to be researched and developed and innovated, that is socialized. But the moment that it becomes profitable, it's handed over to private enterprises, and the result is Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos become the richest people in human history. That is the system that we're living in. This is how it rewards people and this is how it exploits people. You have a handful of people, literally 8 men in the world, that own more wealth than 4 billion people. If that is not an indication that things are not right and the system is corrupt, then I don't know what it's going to take to wake people up to this fact. Still, in the face of all of this, you will always have people like this who just cannot remove the boot from their throat.